Okay, so thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. I'll try to be really fast on time here, so you can just click here. And so just a little bit about myself. I have a background in physics, been working with analytics since 2008, and since 2017, I'm with Santander Brazil team, helping with anti-fraud strategy on basically all digital channels. So we are working most intensively lately with open finance and instant payments. They have been a reality in Brazil for the last year, and a few other items. So just click. So before, I want to focus on a specific type of scam that happens in Brazil. But before that, I just want to give you guys a glance of what Brazil is regarding scams. So we have lots of types of very unique scams and a few others I just saw that are common worldwide. So if you just go to the next one, please. So we have just we can start from scams in hospitals. Since you have to go to a hospital or have any of your relatives there, they make you sign a document making you aware that the hospital won't ever call you back asking for money to buy a specific drug for your treatment or your relative treatment. Some people are not aware of that, and they used to send money thinking they are paying for a better treatment for their dear relative that's in the hospital. We have fake sales and fake links in lots of them. 2 years ago, we have a gas shortage, and they were just fake links regarding where you would be able to find gas to fill your tank, or just loads and loads of them. We have in a couple of days Black Friday is coming, but here in Brazil we call it Black Fraud because we have lots of fake links and fake promotions and fake sales. I just lost my screen. Oh, I'm back. Thank you. And also fake sales when you pay half of the double of the price when it's not a sale whatsoever. Another specific type of Brazil, we have 26 different states, and you have 26 different IDs. Each state has its own pattern to identify ourselves there. So a regular Brazilian can have up to 26 IDs. So it makes it really complicated to protect against fake IDs. And then they go to fake traffic tickets. We can go to the next one, please. And as was said before, a very strong vector here is social engineering, because since you make our clients and our customer believes that he's actually talking to the bank and not talking to a fraudster, he'll do whatever he's asked to. So we can go to the next one. And also, it's quite created a sort of status of being a famous scammer. You have a worldwide famous scammer, that's Frank Jr., that inspired the movie Catch Me If You Can. In Brazil, we have Marcelo Nascimento da Rocha. We call him our local Frank Jr. He was a common guy, then he started applying scams, even the police force. And here's a picture of him in a very famous interview show where he impersonated a nephew from an air company. And they thought he was actually famous and interviewed him. And that inspired a movie with Wagner Moura that probably a few of you guys know. So famous Brazilian actors called Vips. Is on streaming, so it's a good movie and tells him the story of this guy. Nowadays, he gives lectures and writes books. He spent some time in jail, but now he's somehow surfing the wave of the 50 minutes of fame that he had. You can go to the next one, please. And also impunity, that's a common factor everywhere. And here just a few of Facebook open pages where the criminals here are just showing off everything they've got, since money, drugs, guns, fancy cars, and we could even geolocate them, but they are just open there, and impunity plays a strong role here. We can go to the next one, please. And here's a very famous case from 3 years ago. It was a young man, 24 years old. He was just across the street from one of our branches, and he was paying 200,000 reais per month on rent, on his office rent. With current exchange rate, would be more or less $40,000 every month just to pay for the rent where he was. And when he was arrested, he had roughly 400 million reais in cash, and as you see, lots of very sophisticated cars. He spent total of 3 days in jail, and he was set free, and he's living his life as nothing happened, unfortunately. We can go to the next one. So now, this is the type of scam that I would like to focus. We believe this is a jabuticaba, as we call things that only happen in Brazil. Jabuticaba is a common fruit here in Brazil that we only have it here. And we just want to inform you guys, this is a very strong scam here in Brazil, and so far we are not aware that this has happened anywhere else. How does that happen? The fraudster first calls our client, and usually he's an older age, and says that he's from the bank and there was a credit card transaction in a high amount, that if he is aware of that transaction, and the person gets really scared because, well, no, that wasn't me. So he's okay. So you can call the number in the back of your credit card and the bank will help you. And you turn off the call. One thing that most anyone knows here in Brazil, that if I call you, if I do not turn off the phone call, I still holding the line. So when the client picks up the phone again and thinks that he's calling bank, actually he's not calling anyone. He's still talking to me, the fraudster. And then I put on the song and I say, "Oh, hello, I'm from X Bank. How can I help you?" And then the social engineer is done. The client believes that he's talking to the bank and will do whatever he's asked to. So the guy say, "Well, we were able to cancel all the transactions, but we will have to collect the card for further investigation. So we are sending you back to your place a courier that will collect the card." Meanwhile, when you are logging in this fake IVR, you already put in your PIN code from your credit card. And since you handle the credit card for the fraudster, he already has your not only the chip but the PIN. So then he would just spend all the money that he can because you just gave it away, your credit card, your password, and PIN code. And in a few cases, the client not only handles the credit card, but he also handles the mobile, unlocked mobile, and the fraudster is able also to run financial transactions on the bank app. So it's a full disaster scenario. There's no malware infection. There's no phishing whatsoever. It's just a very good social engineering applied here. And then it's everything, all the money is gone. And so we have to handle that. Can we go to the next slide, please? And just to give you guys a sight and a glance of how much is that, this is roughly 70 to 80 million reais lost every year in the next estimate in the Brazilian market. And just two recent news here, a retired elder lady here, she gave 6 different bank cards to the courier. And also another news here saying that it's increased 340% during the pandemics. And to my last slide. So how do we tackle this here? We just was mentioned before in a few other presentations, awareness campaigns. It's not enough, but it's a must do. It's like raising a child. You have to do it, and hopefully some of that will stick to their mind. So we have here a few examples of how we are trying to reach our clients through social medias, through email messaging, SMS messaging, and all that we can do. And also here on our analytics side, we are working on machine learning models focusing on 3 different characteristics. On the card behavior, because when it's being scammed, the velocity of its usage, it's different. Client profiling, as we just quickly said before, usually that happens in older people, but not only that is the only variable that can help us on that. And on the point of sale clustering, because it's very easy to have a POS to run the financial transactions physically. So we can study some of their characteristics. And then with all this information, we can create very good models and decline suspicious transactions and try to avoid major losses to our clients. And finally, when we are able to identify through the POS or through where the money is going, we have collaboration with our local police forces. And just here a very recent news here, when the police discovered a central that was specialized in this type of scam. in Belo Horizonte, that's a big city in the state of Minas Gerais here in Brazil, and they were arrested with hundreds of cards, a local IVR, and the whole structure to apply the scams. So this is a very small glance of what we are facing here in Brazil. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Favaro.